Welcome back into Sports Memos Betting Podcast, NFL Everything on the Board, segment number 2 with our closer, Minty Bets. Minty, welcome into the pod. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good, Drew. How are you?
I'm doing good. We just had Teddy covered on, broke down the top half here. So going towards the bottom half of the card, we got 319, 320 Miami Dolphins at the New York Football Giants. Giants laying anywhere from it's mostly 3 in the hooks now. There, I was going to say 3 and some juice, but those have all been taken out.
Yep.
So 3.5 at home in MetLife, hosting the Miami Dolphins. Minty, 46.5 the total here.
Okay, so Eli Manning is back, and I have to say I personally love the Manning family. So truly, I want Eli to do well in this game. But I believe the Dolphins covered the 3.5 here. They're 7-3 against the spread, and actually 4-1 against the spread on the road. So it's unclear if Ryan Fitzpatrick will have Devontae Parker and Albert Wilson this week, because they left the game last week due to injury. So hopefully they come back in good health, because this is a great opportunity for Miami to take advantage of the Giants' poor defense. I like the over in this game as well at 46.5, I think you said. Both defenses aren't that great, as Miami is allowing 141 rushing yards per game and are allowing their opponents to score an average of 30 points per game. The Giants aren't that much better, allowing their opposing quarterbacks to complete 67% of their passes and allowing an average of 28 points per game. I don't see a whole ton of turnovers, but I do see some easy scoring.
All right, Minty. And yeah, it's 46.5, pretty much market wide. If you're here in Las Vegas, there is one lone 46 flat that is at South Point. We got Buffalo at Pittsburgh up next, Minty. Steelers laying 2 at home, 35.5 or 36 the total here, Minty.
First of all, I said this last week. Oh, no, I didn't say this last week. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. Can you believe the total for this game? 36, or you said 35.5? That is the lowest I've ever seen an NFL total in my years. But I believe it can go under. The Bills have nothing but defense, and the Steelers' defense and special teams have been pretty stout. Pittsburgh averaging about 19 points per game since Hodges has started, and have allowed only 15 points per game from their opponents, their last 5 at home. Both Buffalo and Pittsburgh have great passing defense, allowing about 200 passing yards per game, give or take. The Bills are 1-5 over under their last 6, and the Steelers have hit the under in 5 straight. I do like the under, but it's just a little too risky to actually place a bet on it for me. I also like the Bills at plus 2.5 it was yesterday, plus 2, maybe even the money line. I don't know. I just like the Bills here. I don't think Pittsburgh's offense will do enough to get the win at home. Plus, no Juju, no Connor, and I hear Samuels and McDonald are questionable, so that's basically their whole offense. I kind of like the Bills, and I like the under.
Yeah, the under's taking some money. I'm with you on this total. Very low. I can't remember off the top of my head a lower total in my time in the sports betting world, Minty. But the under money is coming 37 down to 35.5 is the low water mark right now, and that one is at Chris. So we got Jacksonville at Oakland up next, Minty. We're seeing the Jaguars supposedly not taking any money in the marketplace, and we're seeing this number jump up from Oakland Raiders opening at 4. Now we're seeing 6 in the hook. This is the Raiders laying at home. Not many home games left for the Raiders, at least in Oakland, Minty, before they become our hometown team here in Las Vegas. But anyway, throw it over to you for Jacksonville versus Oakland.
Yes, like you said, Drew, this is their last home game in Oakland until the Raiders call my city of Las Vegas their home. I'm so excited. Like, thinking about it and talking about it, I am like tearing up just like doing this. I've waited my whole life for a professional football team to come to Las Vegas. I honestly would have taken any team. I would have loved any team. So I'm really glad it's a California-based team. The Raiders, I really don't mind. I would have even taken the Browns. Like, I would take anybody, honestly. This city is amazing when it comes to supporting things like that. We tend to unify in times like that. I mean, I'm just saying Vegas Golden Knights, the Raiders. So these are the times that I'm speaking of. Unlike New York teams or Florida-based football teams, you guys have 3 teams, and it's totally unnecessary.
Whoa, we didn't say anything about you here, Minty.
I know, but it just like growing up, I'm like, why does Florida have 3 and little New York has 2? So I'm very glad that Nevada is getting 1. So anyway, I like the Raiders, but it climbing from 4.5 to 6, and I saw 7 earlier today too. I don't know. It's a little iffy. They have to win and leave Oakland with a game to remember. Jacksonville is kind of tanking here. Earlier this year, I was scared of their defense, and I was scared to bet against Jacksonville. And now their defense ranks 24th, in the league, and they've lost both straight up and against the spread in 5 straight games. Oakland, on the other hand, does a little better at home, going 4-1 straight up and 3-2 against the spread. I like Oakland, but I don't know if I like it as high as 6 or 7.
All right, Minty, great breakdown there. And hey, you bring up the fact of, Vegas being, welcoming, I guess, to new teams coming here. How do you think the Raiders will do over the next 5 or 10 years in this city? You think it will be a successful, business proposition, filling the stadium all the time? Or do you think that this is something that might, kind of fizzle off here in the years to come?
Oh, no, I think it's going to do very well. Obviously football is a more popular sport than hockey is, but our hockey team, the stadiums are full all the time, even when we're down like by 5 goals. And it's like the third period, the stadium is still full. Like people still don't leave even when we're like being blown out and it's like the game is almost over. So I totally believe the stadiums are going to be full for the football games, even in 5-10 years. It's going to be really successful. I truly believe that.
And just to play devil's advocate here, what about the UNLV running Rebels? They haven't exactly had great attendance at their games. Why haven't they worked? And maybe that could be a reason that the Oakland Raiders don't work here, Minty.
Because no one cares about UNLV, Drew. They've been so bad. That's a great question. Like I said a couple weeks ago, I went to the very last game that the UNLV Rebels had, a football game, I should say, at home in Sam Boyd Stadium. That stadium is a piece of trash. I'm sorry. They have these old dinosaur TVs that are like super like pixely and blurry and like fizzly, and they're mounted all over the stadium. And I'm just like crying because I can't believe that stadium represented our UNLV football team. I don't think the stadiums will be full for the UNLV games, but I think they'll sell more tickets for sure. Everyone wants to see the new stadium, and they're not willing to pay like $300 a pop for the Raiders tickets. So I think the UNLV games will do better. Maybe not as great as the Raiders stadium, but we'll see.
Okay. No, that makes perfect sense. We got Cleveland at Arizona up next, Minty here. We got 2.5 or 3, depending where you're shopping. This is an important one to shop around, guys. Cleveland Browns laying that number, 2.5 or 3 on the road in Arizona. We're seeing 49.5 as the total here, Minty.
Holy crap, 49.5. I checked this morning, it was 48, Drew. And it was like 47.5 yesterday. This is climbing. But I get why. I also like the over in this. I don't like any sides. The Browns have lost 4 of their last road games, and the Cardinals have lost 6 straight. This will be their 3rd home game. So hopefully maybe home field advantage kicks in this week. To be honest, like I said, don't like a side. But the over, both defenses have been messy lately. Arizona is number 1 when it comes to being number 32 in passing yards allowed, averaging 294 passing yards. And Cleveland isn't so great against the run, allowing 128 rushing yards per game. So this might be a shootout. I like the over 49.5. Ooh, I think it could get there, but I'm personally not betting it.
Okay, Minty. And yeah, we are seeing the high water mark here being 49.5. That one at Heritage offshore here. You're right. The market is mostly 49s, but yeah, it has taken some over money as of today. So we got Atlanta at San Francisco up next, kind of East Coast here, traveling out west. Seems to be a theme on the Sunday card here, Minty. 48 being the total. It looks like doubles here. We're seeing 10.5 or 11. That's the 49ers laying at home.
So I feel like the spreads this week are either double-digit spreads or just really close, like 1.5s, 2.5s. I don't like it. I just had to say that. Anyway, I don't like the double-digit spreads, so I'm not going to take a side here. Matt Ryan has been performing so average lately. In 5 of his last 6 games, he's completed less than 70% of his passes and has thrown for 6 touchdowns to 4 interceptions in those games. Calvin Ridley is out for the rest of the year, and also their passing defense is allowing about 258 passing yards per game and 26 points per game. So I think the over is where it's at here. San Francisco is 5-2 over under their last 7. And this offense puts up a crazy amount of points on the board. And we know that, averaging about 30 points per game. Their defense is not as tough as it once was, as they've allowed about 26 points from their opponents. I will take the over in this.
All right, Minty. And we got 2 games left on the Sunday card here. We're talking with Minty Bets. Follow her on Twitter at Minty Bets. We also got a special coupon code here, Minty25. That's MINTY25 at checkout, sportsmemo.com. Takes 25% off anything site-wide. You can get a full season package with that. You can get one play with that. You can get a 7-day, 30-day, 90-day. Anything you want, sportsmemo.com, 25% off site-wide, will be good through Sunday night using the coupon code Minty25 at checkout, sportsmemo.com. Afternoon kick here, Minty. One game I got my eye on here, LA Rams, Dallas Cowboys, seeing 49 in the total. Huge move here, Minty. We're talking a 4.5-point move in December NFL betting markets. You do not see this very often. We saw the Dallas Cowboys open 3-point favorites. Now we're talking here on Thursday afternoon, Pacific time zone. We're seeing the Rams -1.5, as high as -2. That's a huge move here, Minty. Almost, it is five points at some shops. Oh, you think it's warranted here, the LA Rams now being the favorite?
Yeah. Drew, I want to hear what you think about this one, because I spoke to Kelly about this one yesterday, and I want to know what you think about this game.
I like the Rams. I'm all over the Rams. I do. I think it's warranted. I think that, we start talking about change and finding it here. The Rams, the last 2 games have been good. Their defense is getting healthier. Their offense looked to kind of catch, Jared Goff's one of those quarterbacks, in my opinion, where if he has times to throw, if he's comfortable, he's a really good quarterback. If he's not, he's not very good at all. It's not like he can improvise very well. And then on the other side, the Dallas Cowboys start from the top to the bottom here. Jerry Jones, his words, the head coach. They're not playing well in the field. I think it's kind of fade city here. So I agree with the move here, Minty. I like the Rams, and seeing the prevailing number at 1.5, I would lay it with the Rams.
I totally agree with you. Everything you said, that's some of what I was going to say. But I asked because I know Kelly in Vegas likes the Cowboys, and a lot of people, I'm going to go off topic just real quick, like everyone thinks that Kelly in Vegas and I talk about our bets, and sometimes we'll post our opposite bets on purpose, but we really don't ever talk about the games we're going to play or bet on. And it got me thinking that I asked her about this specific game, and she likes Dallas and I like the Rams. And it made me overthink it real quick. And I just wanted to say that if anybody has to overthink their bets, if anyone feels something or has done their research on a certain side and you're pretty set, but hearing or reading someone else's analysis or opinion, and it makes you want to change your mind about it, then you end up forcing the bet, and you shouldn't bet on it at all. And I get messages all the time of people being like, oh crap, I was on this side, but then you posted this, and then Kelly posted that, and now I don't know what to do. And I'm like, crap, I can't help you. But I just wanted to say, guys, don't force a bet just because you hear or read something, and I don't know, and it changes your mind back and forth and back and forth. That's when you should know that you shouldn't bet on it. So anyway, I can't believe the Cowboys are the best team in their division. They're 6-7. I want to back the Rams up here since they won their last 2 and the Cowboys have lost their last 3. I don't believe in trap games, but this kind of feels like a trap game. I like the Rams. That's kind of all. You kind of said everything that I was going to say. The under also I kind of like at 49, you said. Let's see. The under has hit in 7 times in their last 8 games, the Rams games, I'm saying. And 6 of their last 7 games, their defense has held their opponents to 17 points or less. And also, what you said about Goff, I think applies to Dak, because when Dallas is bad, they are pretty bad. But when they're good, they're pretty good. I think the Rams light them up. I probably won't be betting this one because this is one that I kind of have overthought now that I asked you and asked Kelly about it. But I still like the Rams.
and you bring up Kelly in bed. What was her argument towards the Cowboys? I know she does like, the kind of the contrarian betting angle. She kind of goes with that, runs with that. But is that what she said, or did she have some like matchup reasons why she liked the Cowboys?
To be honest, I forgot. Okay. Because then shortly after we talked about the Cardinals game and then we talked about the Seahawks game. But we know that Kelly likes home dogs and Dallas is going to be a home dog. So I was assuming that might be her reasoning. Don't quote me on that. But I totally forgot what she said because then I started thinking a bunch.
Okay. No, yeah. That happens as well. So we got Minnesota versus the LA Chargers up next. This is not the Sunday night game. However, it is the last game on the board. I guess got flexed out in favor of Buffalo versus Pittsburgh on Sunday night. But nonetheless, sports bettors can bet on it, make money, also lose money, Minty. 2.5 or 2. That's what the Vikings are laying on the road. I guess on the road in quotation marks here, playing the Chargers. 45.5 being the total here, Minty.
I like the Chargers here, but I'm not going to bet it, and here's why. Phillip Rivers looked great last week. He didn't throw a single pick, and it was his birthday, I think. So yay! Last week they blew out the Jaguars, and the Chargers have been able to keep games close, and I mentioned this last week that they haven't lost by more than 7 points this season, which is so impressive. The things I know to be true, Chargers secondary, they're nice and healthy. They have great pass rushers, and Austin Eckler and Melvin Gordon are very efficient weapons offensively, but Phillip Rivers, when he makes mistakes, he can screw things up for the whole team. So if he can take care of the ball, I think things should be fine. But what worries me is that Minnesota is going to be one of the best offenses that the Chargers defense will be going up against. So it kind of worries me because the Vikings are good. And they need to win here as the Chargers season is basically over. Mm-hmm. So I think the Vikings have more to play for, but I do lean Chargers.
All right, Minty. We got the Monday Nighter, which we will be able to hit with Teddy covers on the Monday opening line report, but do want to get some of your thoughts on the Monday Nighter. Also, if we could end it with a best bet, maybe the bet that you're looking at the most on the entire card for the NFL Sunday and the Monday Nighter here. But guys, do want to give a reminder for the coupon code Minty25. That's MINTY. 25 at checkout. Anything site-wide, sportsmemo.com, 25% off. That's full season. That's 1 year all access. That is just a single play if you want. 25% off anything site-wide at sportsmemo.com with the coupon code Minty25 at checkout. Minty, the Monday Nighter, any quick looks here? Indianapolis at New Orleans. Your New Orleans Saints, Minty. Laying 9, 8.5 in the Big Easy, 46.5 the total here, Minty.
Yes, so I don't think Saints will cover 9 points here. Their defense wasn't present last week, and their defense always lets their opponents just slip by somehow. In their last 4 games, they've scored a total of 140 points and allowed their opponents to score a total of 114 points. That's only a 26-point difference, which is just not good enough for me. This entire season, the Colts have only lost by more than 7 points once. So super impressive as well. Indianapolis's defense has kind of slacked lately, but I see them stepping it up in New Orleans and not getting lit up by New Orleans. So I kind of like the Colts here at +9 if you can find it, but I just can't bet against my Saints, so I will not be taking this one.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. I do the same thing with my favorite teams sometimes. I don't like really betting against them, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is, Minty. But did want to give you the chance if you want. If not, that's fine. Do you have a best bet on the card? We've had some comments and some guys reach out on Twitter in terms of wanting a best bet from Minty Bets here. So do you want to throw it over to you if you want to throw one out on the card?
Thanks, guys. Of course. Yes, I've been thinking about this one since you asked me. I really like the Dolphins over. I really like the Cardinals over, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. So I'm going to say Dolphins over, and let me look through my screen here. Sorry, guys.
Well, it can be the Dolphins over 46.5, unless you want to play the card of, throw 3 out there and then your best bet is the one that wins.
You know what? There's something else that I liked. It's actually for tonight's game, but I'm sure this isn't going to air till after. Yeah. Well, then I'm not going to say it, because if I lose, then people will be like, she sucks.
Yeah, really.
So
there's only a lose-lose situation in that one.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to say Dolphins over 46.5, 47. I like that one the best.
Okay, Miami Dolphins, New York Giants over 46.5 for Minty Bets. Best bet on the card. Guys, coupon code Minty25 at checkout, sportsmemo.com. And Minty, anything else you want to throw out here before we shut this down?
I don't think so. Thanks, guys, for listening and tuning in. I appreciate it very much.
All right, Minty, a mainstay on the Every Game on the Board podcast here, NFL style, sportsmemo.com. Guys, have a fun, safe weekend. We will be back on Monday with the opening line report with Teddy Covers. Minty, thanks for the time. Guys out there, best of luck with your bets.
Good luck.